Yay!
Hey.
Hi everyone, we're Dogtopia. My name's Tony and this is Colleen Demling. She's our dog behaviorist. She's in from San Diego to answer all of your questions. We've received a lot through our healthy dog site, dogtopia.com/healthydog, and as well as on our Facebook page. So we have quite a few questions we're going to go through and some great topics to cover for all you pet parents out there, having some doggy behavior questions.
I'm excited.
All right, so let's get started. This first question is from Olivia Bright. She submitted via Facebook. Hi, Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
We recently adopted a 2-year-old pup. All around, she's a great dog. An issue we are having is at the dog park. We've stopped taking her because after several visits, she began barking and nipping at a person there. I say a person, not a specific person, but each time it's just one individual she'll single out. As far as I can tell, they don't share any common features. What do I do? Very interesting.
That's a good question, Olivia. First, I would say for now, stop taking your dog to the dog park because she's obviously saying she's uncomfortable about something. And if she keeps going, my fear is she'll turn from a nip to an actual bite and might accidentally hurt someone.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good, and we definitely don't want it to happen. So it may be even moving her, if she loves to play with dogs, into like a daycare environment where the staff is consistent and she'll get to know people, and then she also gets to know strangers. And if she gets to know strangers and they take good care of her and she has fun, she's more likely to look at strangers in the park the same way.
Okay.
So that would be number one. I'd also take her, because it sounds like she's a little nervous about people for some reason, and it's weird, we can't always find a pattern. It may be even the way the person looks at her as she comes in, or maybe the way they smell or the way they walk. It could be something that triggers maybe a memory of a past owner or a bad experience. So I like to take them to a dog or a person heavy area. So parks tend to be great. You'll have people playing sports, kids riding bikes, people jogging, people yelling, people just having fun at a park. And this allows her to see a bunch of different types of people doing a bunch of different people-like activity. Bring extra special treats on those field trips. And as long as she's kind of calmly sitting there and watching and allowing people to go by and approach, lots of praise and treats. This will help her understand that people aren't scary and she doesn't need to worry about them anymore. Yeah. Also take her to an obedience class. It sounds like she's good and that she's, has adjusted into the home pretty well. But the hard thing is good dogs aren't always responsive, right? So she's making good decisions and she's fitting into your life well. But when you need to call her off of a person, it sounds like she can't.
Yes.
And so then that prevents us as a way of intervening appropriately. So by taking her to obedience class, it will help to build her trust. And also if she gets herself in a situation, we'll be able to get her out of it, call her come, tell her to come back to you and get her back feeling safe.
Good.
Yeah. And then also too, once she's settled in a little bit more, maybe she needs to kind of be a little more familiar in the house and more familiar with her pet parent. Take her back to the park, but do it when it's calm. So not after work hours where there's 30, 40 people and people are
just the regular park.
Just the regular park. So at that point, take her back to the dog park. Calm time where there might be just 3 or 4 people. And I walk around with her. And I sometimes approach people and like, hi, how are you? Let her approach people so she understands everyone is safe and friendly. A lot of times at parks, we tend to sit back and then we leave them to make their own decisions. Now, if she does bark at someone and she tries to bark and nip, I just put on the leash, immediately take her from the park, but don't leave. Stand on the outside. Let her see that person. And if she looks at the person and looks at something else or checks in with the pet parent, then she gets a treat, she gets praise, she gets love, so she can see that thing she thought was a monster.
It's no longer a monster.
Is no longer a monster and is now lots of fun. And if that pet parent, if that person that she barked at is willing to, have them come out and have them meet her on the outside of the park. And the more she understands people aren't scary, the less she'll do this behavior.
All right. So just a little bit more adjustment, it seems like.
Yep, exactly.
All right, thank you. That was a great question. This next question from Raquel Melody, also from Facebook. Hi, Raquel. Let's see. Her adopted dog, Chewy, is wonderful, but has some issues when she meets new people. She's pretty cute. I'm sure she is. And people usually get very excited to see her. The problem is she gets too excited and starts to pee on the floor, even though she is in general house trained. She also pees when I try to teach her to sit, even though I try not to be very stern or scare her. How do I correct this behavior?
Well, Raquel, first, congratulations on your new family member. Chewy sounds adorable. Just out of an abundance of caution, the first thing I would recommend is taking Chewy to the vet. Sometimes an underlying UTI or a minor bladder infection could cause some of this pain. And so we would hate to think it's behavioral if there's really some underlying medical cause. So once she gets checked out by the vet and she's cleared and there's nothing going on, there's also other couple things you can do. Most of the times dogs pee either for a variety of reasons. Sometimes they're scared, sometimes they're very, very excited. It can actually be a doggy compliment if they pee on you, believe it or not. With this, it sounds like it's more of kind of a nervous pee. So she's nervous when she sees new people, and she's also nervous when her parent is trying to get her to sit. So if you can, as new people come in, Raquel, I would have them just totally ignore Chewy. So no eye contact, no, oh my gosh, Chewy, you're so adorable. None of that, just completely ignore. This will allow Chewy time to relax. And if Chewy relaxes, then she'll have more bladder control.
Okay.
But sometimes it's hard to control people. People training is a lot of times more difficult than dog training. Yeah. Dogs get it quick. So if you have those people who are going to be coming over who just can't but help themselves with Chewy, two things is, one, have those people scatter treats on the ground.
Oh, okay.
When they come in. And if those people walk in and they scatter treats on the ground, Chewy's going to be interested in those treats. And as the person's going, oh, Chewy, 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 Chewy's running around to get treats. And it's hard to get treats and pee. Yeah. And then push comes to shove in that situation. If you just know someone's coming over and you know Chewy is going to pee, I normally meet outside. So Chewy then pees on the grass.
Okay.
In this situation, and also with the sitting though, Raquel, you don't want to punish Chewy. Because if you get mad at her for peeing in those situations, it's only going to make the issue worse. Because now she's nervous, and then she's nervous, she's going to get in trouble. Yeah. And then to help her sit, it sounds like she might be a little overwhelmed in that situation too. So what I do is I use a treat, and I put it right by Chewy's nose. So it's right next to her nose. Okay. And slowly lift it up and back. And most dogs work like teeter-totters, that if their head goes up, the butt goes down, right? And you want to keep it right at her nose. If you go too high, then she'll jump. Okay. And if you find that she's still kind of backing up, wondering what you're doing, then I have her kind of at a corner of a sectional or by cabinet. So she helps her sit. Yeah, helps her to sit. Exactly. And also too, just make sure to really praise her when she's doing right, and calming praise. With dogs that are nervous, if we get super excited with them and get like, oh, Chewy, you did it, you did it, you did it, that will cause pee. Okay. So this is a very soothing, good job, Chewy. And then a final tip is don't encourage belly rubbing. A lot of times dogs like Chewy love to have their belly rubs. So they'll come up and you start petting her and she'll immediately roll on her belly. Right? But if we continue to pet, then we're encouraging that more insecure sort of behavior. So if that happens, I just take a step back and encourage her to stand up again. Okay. And then lots of scratches under the chin, lots of scratches on the chest. Okay. And all of that is bravery. It helps her know that she can be brave and confident in the new world.
All right. Good luck, Chewy.
You got this, Chewy.
All right, this next question came from Debbie via our Healthy Dog site. If you haven't been, dogtopia.com/healthydog. We'll be posting all of these answers and questions to our FAQ sections. We encourage you to visit. There's also plenty of other blogs, tips, and recipes. It's full of great information. But this question came from Debbie. Let's see. She has a 4-year-old Yorkie poo who is up every night for a pee like clockwork. She has been vet checked and is fine. She's a difficult dog to walk, as well as go nuts if she sees anyone else. We do have an older dog as well, and she gets along well with him. Help, I'm exhausted. I bet.
Debbie, I bet 4 a.m. wake-up calls, that's tough, especially on the weekend. Yeah. It sounds like the walking and the peeing probably aren't related, but we do want to make sure that we get her exercise, because tired dogs sleep through the night and don't have 4 a.m. pee wake-up calls. Okay. So it might just be worth now exercising her at more quiet times. So late in the afternoon, early in the morning, maybe take a path around the neighborhood that's going to be less trafficked by other dogs and people, so she gets her exercise. If she can't do that, dog park. Okay. If the Yorkie's friendly with other dogs, even a daycare in that situation too. Now, what to do about the peeing itself? Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And just like us, dogs get in routines. You start peeing at 4 a.m. and one day it's every day you're peeing at 4 a.m. It's just your body's kind of adjusted to that clock. So to help her, limit food and water 2 hours before bedtime. Okay. If kind of intake dictates output, so if you drink a lot of water before you go to bed, you're gonna have to be up at 4 a.m. Since you do have another dog in the house, sometimes it can be difficult to restrict water for one dog and not the other. So normally I just put the water in a place where the other dog can get to, but maybe the Yorkie can't.
Okay.
Or offer that other dog water later in the evening.
Okay.
But for the Yorkie, the Yorkie poo, no water.
No water.
No water. I also do no evening napping for the Yorkie poo. And the reason being is a lot of times we get home from a day of work, we sit down, we relax, you turn on the TV, and we're hanging out, and the whole time our dog is sleeping. So we may be going to bed at 10 with our dog, but our dog's really been sleeping since 7.
Okay.
And if you sleep from 7 to 4, that's a good potty time. So instead, make sure to keep her up. You don't have to keep her going.
Okay.
Just kind of if you see that deep puppy sleep where they're kind of wiggling their little paws and having good puppy dreams, I just make a little sound like a just something to wake them up and get her going a little bit so she doesn't get that deep sleep till the owner actually goes to bed.
Okay.
And then with that, if she sleeps when we go to sleep, she's likely to sleep
through the rest of the night.
Exactly. Also, make sure your Yorkie poo potties before bed, even if that means a walk. So a lot of times we say, you have to go potty. Puppy may go, may not, and we just go off to bed. You want to make sure she potties. And when she does, for that evening potty, she gets a super special treat. And she only gets it during that evening potty. So little tiny piece of cheese, like something super special that's going to encourage her that she needs to go.
Okay.
Also create a nighttime routine, because if our nighttime routine varies, she may not know it's last call. Right? So I always kind of like to shut down the house in the same order.
Okay.
So turn the same light off, and then the TV, and then we put the dish in the sink, and we just have the same routine so she understands this is your last time.
Okay.
Yep. And then this is really hard, and I hate to suggest it, but it will work, is if she's still getting up at 4 a.m. And what happens is it's really rewarding, because you're sleeping, Yorkie poo wakes you up at 4 a.m. She goes out to go potty. Waking up mom is great because I get to go potty. So instead, for the next week, and I hate to say it again, set your alarm for 3:30. Maybe start on a weekend.
Yeah.
You wake her up and take her out to go potty.
Okay.
So it helps to break that routine of, 4 a.m. Time to get up, mommy. Right? You're waking her up. And then normally after a week, you then set your alarm for 4. 4:30, 5, 5:30, and within no time, she's sleeping through the night. Yeah, you'll get there. You'll get some sleep. I know you will, Debbie.
We'll help you with sleep, we promise. All right. Thank you. That was a great question. I'm sure a lot of pet parents have some sleepless nights because of their doggy. All right, Nikki Hannah. This question was submitted via Facebook. Hi, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
I have a 1-year-old boxer that barks at everything, people walking by the house, neighbors coming home from work, and at animals. He also barks at every dog that we come across during walks. He goes to daycare, and they tell me he's so good with the other dogs and very chill. Why is he so good at daycare but not when he's at home?
Good question.
Interesting. Yeah.
Good question. Dogs bark for a lot of reasons, but it sounds like he could be alert barking. So it's mom, a car, mom, a squirrel, mom, a leaf, mom, come look at this, mom, come look at that. And at daycare, he's so occupied by all the dogs that he can't bark. He can't even bark. Yeah. He's just so overwhelmed with fun. Okay. He doesn't even have time to tell anyone about it. Yeah. So that's a good thing that he's that well behaved at the dog park. But at doggy daycare, what I would also recommend is some more exercise at home. It sounds somewhat counterintuitive, but at least even taking him on a walk. Okay. It helps to establish that mom is in charge in the home environment. And if mom's in charge in the home environment, then he doesn't need to tell mom about everything going on that happens. Okay. You also can tell him and show him that he doesn't have to alert to every sound, and even more when he doesn't alert, it makes her really, really happy. Right. So I start with things you can control. So you mentioned that when people come home from work, he barks. So I'd enlist a friend, have them walk by the house, and as soon as he sees the friend, big praise, treat. Okay. Because at that point, he'll see the friend, but before he barks, he's getting praise. And so he's starting to learn being quiet is good. Because with dogs that bark a lot, we tend to accidentally reinforce it. You're sitting there, you're on your phone, you're doing something, dog barks, and you go, no, stop. And what does the dog think?
Oh my God, I'm so great. You're welcome. I
Yeah.
ordered you.
Yeah, I barked, you barked back. You're yelling my name like I'm a celebrity. Like barking is the best thing ever. So by helping him with these setup situations of you see someone go by, don't bark. Mom gets really excited and praises you. Then he learns over time to be quiet.
Okay.
And as far as the walks too, because you did mention that, bring yummy treats with you on a walk, really get his attention when he does see other things so he doesn't bark. And then also make sure there are some structures around the walk, maybe teach him some loose leash walking, make him sit, have him pay attention to you other times, because then he'll pay attention to you in those moments when he wants to tell you about everything that's going on. Yeah.
Good tips. All right. This question came from Beth, also from Facebook. I won't try and pronounce her last name. I'm so sorry. I don't. I have a crazy last name too. She's looking for suggestions on how to calm her dog around other dogs. Walking in particular is difficult when we encounter other dogs. He just wants to play and gets overstimulated. So similar to the other question a little bit.
Similar, yeah. So one thing, Beth, it sounds like your dog loves dogs and wants to play. So make sure he has an outlet for that. Dog park, doggy daycare, play dates with friends, just someplace where he can get some of that energy out. If not, I kind of compare it to like you love cookies and I just keep walking you by a cookie store back and forth, but you can never go in.
That's tough.
And it's frustrating, and it's frustrating for the dogs too. So make sure he has an outlet for that. You might also want to consider looking at possibly having a dog trainer come out. Dogs react on leash for a variety of reasons. Here it sounds like it's because he's just so excited to see a dog, but it's sometimes good to have eyes on by a professional to make sure that is the case. And it's not because he's afraid or he's nervous or he has any aggression issues or anything like that. Then on the walk, it's kind of a similar answer, extra special yummy, yummy treats. And since he's barking in excitement, it sounds like, her goal is to be more exciting than the other dog.
Right. The treats will help that.
The treats will help, and then lots of praise, like, oh my gosh, did you see the dog? I saw the dog. Here's the treat. Pay attention to me. I want to be exciting. And at that point, most of the time, the dog just goes, oh, that other dog?
Oh, who cares?
That's boring. Look at what my mom's doing right now. And will help redirect the focus. If he does bark, and it will happen as we practice, I just gently stand in front of him for a moment, just kind of saying, hey, that's really not what I was looking for. You're calm, you're good, we're relaxed, and then just walk away. And by giving distance, that other dog is going to be less exciting, which means there's less likelihood of a bark. And then as soon as he stops barking, turn around and do that overexcited praise. And then two, make sure, as before we mentioned, the walks are structured. A lot of times on walks, our dogs are walking us. We walk.
I want to sniff here. I want to go there. Like,
I want to pull you here. I want to go over there. You want to sniff that bush. You want to pee on this bush. You want to go say hi to that neighbor. We're just kind of along for a ride as an anchor. And if that's the case, then in those moments when he barks and we try to give him feedback, he's already like, no, we're not doing this. Like, I'm walking you. You should be barking with me. Why are you telling me not to? So by having some structure of making him sit at least 5 times on a walk so that he learns to listen, having him walk on a loose leash. Maybe doing some changes in direction, because as we walk down a sidewalk or a path, oftentimes our dogs know where we're going, which is straight. So instead do a serpentine. Maybe make a figure 8. Speed up, slow down. And all of those things will help him understand that mom is in charge and mom is doing the walking, which will open him up to this feedback
when they're paying attention.
Exactly. And then just real quick, one final thing, depending on what equipment he's on, you may want to try a harness that hooks in the front. For some dogs that are lunging and pulling and barking in excitement, if the leash is hooked in the front of the chest versus a collar or a harness, the pet parent will have a little more control.
Good to know. All right, this next question came from Kirsa Mandler via Facebook. Hi. Let's see, she has 2 golden doodles. Lucky.
Love golden doodles. Those are the best.
She says, I can take them separately on a walk and they're very well mannered. When I take them together, they are less mannered. How do I get them to walk nicely and control their barking, lunging when I take them at the same time? That's got to be tough. You don't want to do 2 walks, one for each dog.
You definitely don't. And 2 golden doodles, that's probably a lot of dog to control. It's kind of the old saying that good manners start at home. So what I like to do is, it sounds like the golden doodles, when they're getting out together, they're looking at each other before they look at mom. So when it's one-on-one, they check in with mom and they listen. But when they're together, they're best friends there. So they're less likely to listen to what the parents say.
Yeah.
So we want to start them paying attention at home. So by doing this, it's teaching them to listen to commands. So it's maybe having one dog sit on one side of the room and one dog sit on another side of the room. Or maybe have one dog sit and the other dog down.
Okay.
Maybe have one dog stay and the other dog come.
Okay.
And this practice at home helps them understand that even when we're with each other, we still have to listen to mom, even if mom is telling each of us to do something different.
Okay.
They'll make mistakes, and that's fine. We all make mistakes. And if they do, just start over and try again. Because it sounds like they get really excited, soothing praise, again, is the key. Because if they sit down and then they get a huge party, they're going to be so excited. They're going to be so excited. They're going to party along. Yeah, so nice, soothing praise. Also, make sure the walks start out calm. And this is something I see a lot. There's this tornado of chaos and energy as a pet parent is trying to get there, bouncing, jumping, barking, pushing, jumping on the counter, biting the leash, and you're the whole time struggling to even get the leash or the harness hooked up. So we want to teach them that calmness in the house leads to a walk, not craziness in the house leads to a walk, because crazy in the house means crazy walk. So I pick up the leashes. If they start to get crazy, I just drop them on the floor, walk away. Field trip canceled. If we can't even get into the car, kids, we are not going to Disneyland. Right? So wait like 20 seconds, pick up the leashes again, ask them to sit, or just stand there quietly. And as long as they're quiet, they get their stuff put on. If they get excited, walk away again. Sometimes I even walk away and take my shoes off. I'm like, go sit on the couch. Like, we're definitely not going. They're going to look a little confused the first couple times, but most dogs catch on right away. And then once they are out that door, make them sit at least 5 times within the first 5 minutes. And what that does is says, remember mom's in charge. Remember mom's in charge. Remember mom's in charge, which naturally will help calm their reaction when they see other things and dogs and things. And then finally, too, it's hard when you have dogs that are acting up. You probably are now walking down the street and you see another dog and instantly go, no, because you're anticipating the bad behavior. Praise them. Praise them for being calm. Praise them for making the good decisions. And with you staying calm and relaxed and letting them know when they're doing right, they'll do right.
Good luck. 2 golden doodles.
You got this. You got this.
All right, this next question came from Yadira Ortega Rodriguez. I think you've submitted some other questions before, so hello.
I love these questions.
My 3-month-old puppy sometimes barks at my daughter. What should we do, or does he just wants to play?
So it's kind of hard to say without a little more detail. He could be barking because he wants to play. He could be barking because maybe your daughter is accidentally scaring him. He could be barking to protect a toy. So I definitely, especially with a young puppy and a daughter, contact a professional. Have someone meet your daughter and the pup and just make sure there's something not going on. That it is just attention barking. I would also have your daughter feed the puppy. And also any toys, any bones, anything like that should come from the daughter. And what this does is if the puppy is kind of barking at her, is like, you're a playmate, give me attention. This will help the dog understand oh, no, you're someone that's important because you feed me, you give me toys, things, you give me toys, so maybe I should respect you a little bit more. It also might be a little coaching for the daughter. I'm not sure how old she is, but a lot of times with puppies and kids, the kids just want to pick up the puppy and squeeze the puppy and put the puppy in a stroller and ride the puppy like a pony and pulling the puppy's tails and doing all these things that they do with stuffed animals. And so the bark might be the puppy saying,
I don't want to play like that.
I don't want to play enough. It's enough. And in those moments, and it's so counterintuitive, do not correct the puppy. And so what happens a lot of times is when dogs bark or growl in those situations, they immediately get told no, they get in trouble, they get yelled at. And what the puppy learns over time is, I'm uncomfortable. I tried to tell you, you got mad at me. So the next time, I'm not going to tell you I'm uncomfortable. I'm just going to bite. So make sure, it's so counterintuitive. The other way I think about it is like you have a fire in your kitchen, and so you take off the smoke alarm because you're annoyed with the beeping. Same thing with dogs. So in those moments, if he does bark, it's more moving your daughter away and saying, okay, let's have some coaching about how we properly interact with our new puppy in our house. And then if you think he's just barking for attention, play with me, play with me, play with me, that type of bark, easiest solution is as soon as he barks, everyone in the family who is paying attention to him stops, almost like you're a robot and just turned off, pause, and once he stops barking, start playing with him again.
Okay.
So bark equals ignore, quiet equals play.
Got it.
Yeah. But like I said, I contact a professional just to be safe. Yeah, with a puppy and a child, we want to make sure that everything's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, this next question is from Cheryl Talion Penrod. Hi, Cheryl. What is the best way to introduce our 7-year-old German Shepherd to a new, older rescue dog into our house?
Wonderful. Congratulations on the new rescue dog. I know I just said it, but I'd say it again. If you're even a tiny bit concerned that these dogs aren't going to get along, have a professional there when you do an intro. Bringing a new dog into the house is kind of like a couple newly dating.
Yes.
So your shepherd and this new rescue dog are about to go on their first date together.
Not sure how they're going to get along.
Yeah, we don't know how they're going to get along. But if it goes wrong,
yeah,
it's hard to fix. If you have a bad date with somebody, it's hard to kind of want to keep dating them.
Correct.
Right. So having a professional there to make sure the date goes right and they like each other and they get along is really, really important. And it's a great investment. Yeah. If you don't think there's going to be any issues, you're just wondering the best way to do it, then normally the way to start out is take them on a walk together.
Okay.
Walking is kind of the dog version of getting coffee. So they get to go in the same direction. They're on a mini date. Now they're on a coffee date. They're walking in the same direction. They're sniffing the same bush. They're looking at the same car. They see the same squirrel, the same leaf. And all of that kind of stuff builds a relationship and helps them bond.
Okay.
Right? So after the successful walk, I normally try to do it at least 20, 30 minutes. And you're seeing no warning signs at all. They're totally comfortable. I then bring them into the backyard if you have one, or front yard, or into a larger part of the house. But before this happens, make sure you pick up any toys, beds, water bowls, food bowls, bones, anything that you
like
think.
Territory, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because you might like someone, but then if they start wearing, like, take your favorite shirt out of your closet and put it on,
yeah,
we're not going to like it very much. Same thing happens with dogs. So if they start to fight over a toy, accidentally, maybe the new dog doesn't know that's the other dog's favorite toy, it can set them on the wrong path.
Okay.
So clear the environment of anything like that, of any nature of that, and then just let them kind of calmly interact. Nice and calm. Don't encourage them to really come to you. No treats, nothing like that. Just let them get to know each other.
Okay.
And then finally, keep interactions nice and short and sweet. Let them play for a little bit, and then maybe using a baby gate to separate them in the house, or maybe one's in a crate, one's out. You can even put them on leashes and tether them in the same room, but far enough away so they can't get to each other. And this just prevents some accidental scuffles.
Got it.
Right? And then most importantly, stay relaxed. If your old dog goes to sniff the new dog and you get nervous because you don't know what's about to happen, both dogs will feel that energy and they'll equate it to each other.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so just nice and calm. Oh, good. Are you sniffing? Wow, that's amazing. And lots of praise. So they know that those interactions are positive. Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. I think we have some time for a few more questions.
Oh, good. I love this.
Okay. Let's see if any have come through. Oh, we've got a lot of questions.
Oh, good. I can't wait to answer them.
Let's see. This is from Regina. We have an older lab named Rocky. He gets really excited about seeing other dogs, so we thought, let's get a puppy. Sadie is a coon lab mix and now is 6 months. Well, it's been 2 months and he's still being grumpy, barking at her, and wants nothing to do with her. She isn't in his face, annoying him, or taking his toys or anything, but outside he won't bark at her. He will wait, or he will let her jump all over him, and he's totally okay until we get back into the house. He doesn't want her walking on the floor. We have been trying to do positive reinforcement, but I feel like I'm failing miserably.
Aww.
I'm not sure if he'll ever like her.
Oh,
no.
Tough situation. He'll like her. He'll like her. First I would do is get the puppy some exercise. Because a lot of times we get a puppy, but so does the other dog, and that puppy pays so much more attention to the other dog. Okay. And he may be tolerating her outside and being jumped on because there's probably a little more space. It doesn't mean he likes it. So if we give her other things to do, get her on walks, get her to daycare, get her in dog parks, get her to have other doggy friends, and he's not going to be the center of her universe. Interactive toys will also help as well. So if she's busy with the food cube, he can have his space. If they're not getting along really well in this situation, though, make sure the puppy's separated during these times. The last thing we want to do is start a scuffle over the food
right.
cube or the bone or whatever it is. In the house, you may, with the puppy, want to put the puppy in an X pen or an exercise pen. And there's these freestanding gates, but they're pretty big. And this will allow both the puppy and the dog to be in the same room, but not the puppy constantly approaching the dog. So this will help the dog feel a little more comfortable. And then a really great way to kind of help them get along, and oftentimes you'll need 2 people for this. So it's a little complicated, but it works. One person is holding the older dog on leash. Other person has the puppy.
Okay.
Okay. As the puppy is being approached and walked towards the older dog, that older dog is getting tons of praise and super special treats, like cheese, right? Okay, so now approach cheese of my sister equals fun, right? Then the person with the puppy moves the puppy away and encourages the puppy to come away. And at that point, the older dog gets nothing. The puppy gets a party. So then older dog is learning, puppy coming towards me, love it, party. Puppy's learning, go away from my brother.
Also love it,
party. And that helps to give them some space.
Okay.
And also might be a situation, sounds like you've worked really hard. Maybe having a professional come in, they can provide some of those insights and quick tips that can make a difference.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, I think we have time for one more question. This is from Vicky. Hi, Vicky. Our 5-month-old mini Bernedoodle counter surfs. Oh, such a cute dog. And jumps on everyone she meets. What is the best way to stop the counter surfing? We've spent more time loving her up than teaching her manners. Understandable. Super cute dog.
Yeah, they're adorable dogs. And I would start there, honestly, is a lot of times the jumping and the counter surfing is a symptom of a larger lack of impulse control. She's just loved being loved on, but she might not have learned a lot of manners.
Okay.
So by taking her to a basic obedience class, she'll start to learn that she does have to listen, she has to sit, she has to stay. You'll learn commands like being able to send her to her bed or a place, which will help with the counter surfing.
Okay.
It'll help with the jumping and all of that. But in the meantime, a few options is if she's jumping on people coming in the door, I like to just, as someone comes in, kind of a similar question with the puppy that peed, totally ignore her, no attention at all. Just look in the sky and pretend she's not there.
Okay.
And then as the people come in, they drop treats on the ground. Yep. So the puppy can't jump and look for treats at the same time. With counter surfing, the best option really at this point is to be safe and keep things further back.
Okay.
Because every time she gets on the counter and she gets something, even attention, it reinforces it. If you're cooking on the counter and doing that sort of thing, that's also giving her an interactive toy. And if she has an interactive toy that she gets to push around on the ground when you're cooking, then she's foraging going down instead of up at your counter.
Okay.
And also might be a time when you're going to be in the kitchen and she's going to be doing that counter surfing, crate her, put her in one of those X pens, even put her on a leash and maybe tie her to a closed door and have her on a bed with a bunch of toys so she can't even just get to the counter.
All right.
Yeah.
Great questions. All right. That is all we had time for today. If you had other questions, feel free to visit dogtopia.com/healthy dogs, submit them, and we will continue to add to our FAQ site, our FAQ section on that site. We appreciate everyone for tuning in, and we hope to hear more questions from you soon. So thank you.
Definitely. Thank you.